I'm going to give you my very honest opinion. I do not choose my word carefully really close.
Turn it off.
No, you're okay for this one. Because I have told the district, I've told you the teachers, I am not a fan of our teachers. I'm not a fan of our evaluation system. Not just teachers, in this district. We receive training on one component, but then the component when we actually go to do the evaluation looks vastly different. There are national models out there that are proven to be effective to providing feedback, but then yet we've tweaked those. And so that you can't, if you can receive coaches, you can go out and become an expert into this, but then this model that PPS uses it's nuanced in different ways. And you would think that it wouldn't make a huge deal, but just slight little changes within things impact your ability to provide feedback. It also, in my opinion, is extremely hard to provide the feedback that I think our teachers are open to and want, because there's a ton of just like checkboxes. And then did you have evidence for this checkbox? Well, there's not this flexibility to sit down and have a conversation and actually really provide support, in my opinion, that I think would be more advantageous. I think we would do better if we had a more fluid system. But I also do recognize that those evaluations can and do at times lead to teachers being removed from their positions, and so there has to be concrete structure and consistency within those structures. And that becomes a lot more of an HR, a legal, and a union piece around that. Because once you do come to a point where, let's say, a teacher is going to be removed for not because they've done something that's against the law or against the policy, but just because maybe teaching practices aren't where they should be at, you have to have some consistency within that model. I recognize that.
What is the hardest part of your job?
It's a tough question. Because on any given day, I think that might change. And I'm new to this position. So I think if you ask me, I go back to being a vice principal quite a bit because that's what I know. And so to ask me that question right now, what's the hardest part? I don't know yet. We were prepared for specific things, and I think we're doing okay. Like being out of the building, we're really trying to battle that. Being visible was a huge thing when I went through the interview process around this community wants a principal that is visible. I think we're doing okay with that. I think, and it's not hard, I think the most important piece is that you have to listen. I'm not the genius in the room. I do not have all of the answers. That is not my job. My job is to listen and then figure out what is the best course of action with a team of individuals. I think the hardest part is it will happen, and it still happens at times, is you have all these amazing ideas, and they're all probably effective. It's easy to say something, we're not doing this because there's no data around it. We're not doing this because it's been proven that's not going to work. We're not going to do this because we don't have the funding, unfortunately. It becomes a lot more challenging when you have, let's say, 3 amazing ideas, but yet you have to pick one of those 3, and the teams aren't, and so that's some of the time, like, now you have to just make a decision. And not everybody's going to be happy with that decision. I think that's the part you have to be able to go home at night and say, like, I made the best decision with the best information that I had, and then support that decision. And then be transparent and let everybody know why that decision was made.
People are getting a little bit fidgety. Let's take a break.
Okay, well.
And then Mr. Skyles, if you have questions for our class, I feel like that will be fair game. So if you want to take on that.
Yeah. Why do you guys? Why are you thinking about becoming an educator in some capacity?
Because I love math and I want to pass on my love of math to others.
Excellent.
I didn't really have a good experience in middle school with teachers, and I kind of want to, I guess, be a better example for another kid, not have them like have to go through another set of awful teachers like I did.
That's a very common reason you find.
Middle school's so hard.
It's very hard. It's hard.
I don't understand people who want to be middle school teachers.
Well, I mean, I really like working with little kids. I like working with little kids a lot more than I like working with like older children. I just think they're so much fun to be around. They don't really have a concept of like shame yet, so they will just say like everything and anything, and I just think it's so interesting. Like I just love hearing their like reasoning for stuff. Like I do a lot of outdoor school, and like I'll be like, why do you think this snail is slimy? And they're like, I think he's slimy because he has to go to outer space and it protects him from space germs. And I'm like, you're right, in a way, like in your own little special way.
That is good.
I wanted to be a fifth grade teacher because I loved the fifth grade, but I was always I had a wonderful teacher, but I was always mentally critiquing him, like, I could do this so much better. So I'm like, let's see if that's really
You
true.
want to go back and try to see if I could do it better. Anybody else?
I want to be like a younger kid, like a K-5 teacher, because I think that kind of like shapes the way you think of school when you're really young. So like, might help them. I want to help them like school.
Jordan, there's a lot of data that says that what you're thinking is accurate. What do you guys think are the biggest challenges to being a teacher? Or in education, somebody might be thinking about being an administrator or something. What do you think is the challenge to being in it?
Set up in your community,
What do you mean?
meeting all the people, being gracious with all the people, getting along with the hierarchy.
Trying to help kids with disabilities because the administration doesn't always do that as well as they should.
Good names are really hard.
Learn names. Well, I football because they had their name on their helmet.
Because like you see like a lot of kids in a day, and so I don't think I would be able to like remember everyone's name.
You are right. If you find a balance, if you're a high school teacher in a block schedule, you're seeing 120 to 180 students, and you're not even seeing them every day. That's a lot of names to remember. Middle school, a little bit less. Elementary, you get your bodies in. There's 30 bodies running around in the room. That's a lot of bodies.
The worst is when you see them the next year, and you're like, I had all summer to forget your name.
For me, I think it'd be dealing with the kids that don't like me. It'd be hard for me like personally to like be like,
No, like kids that don't really like school, like in general, which is like me on a bad day. But like it's just hard to want them to like learn. I'm like, I love knowledge. Please love knowledge with me. It's great. Learning is fun, I swear. Wouldn't that be hard?
I wanted to say something on that one, just my experience. It's interesting because you'll run into times where that is like the perception, like they don't love learning or they don't want to learn. But if you always take a step back, you always say, everybody loves to learn. We all just like to learn different things in different ways, and sometimes we're just not hitting. And in our system, we tell you, you have to learn this, and you have to learn this. And fortunately, we hit some of those at times, and for some of us, we don't. And sometimes what you're going to find is, you guys didn't ask for my opinion on this, so you can tell me just kind of be quiet. But you're going to find that a lot, in my experience, and especially being the dean, you saw this, students would say, I don't like this individual, but the root is I don't like this course, I don't like the class, there wasn't community in that course, or it's just not their thing. And if we put you in a room and told you to listen for 90 minutes to something that's not the thing, and you're not really grasping it, I mean, we all try to get out. Anybody other challenges?
I think- I was gonna say time management.
Yeah, because you all interviewed your teachers. Did time management come up?
Yeah.
Balance your family and your personal life. This is really important work. I mean, in my opinion, this is the most important work within a society, and it can become extremely. It can encompass you and what you do, and you have to remember that you have a life, you have a family, you have people to make sure that they are still a priority. That's a tough one.
I think another one would be improvements. The teacher I interviewed, she went to Humboldt first, and they had a what was?
Complete turnover.
No, not complete turnover. The other one where they fire everyone.
Oh, where the whole staff has to
Yeah.
reapply for their jobs. I forget the term for it.
Don't do it anymore, but yes,
That used to
there's
be
no
a
child left
practice.
behind. That was a private school that had to turn around. I don't remember the term. That was,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And then she also they had a 99% turnover at the school I went to. I left that school after that, but also they went through improvements, and I feel like all that work would be like really hard.
That would not be a good thing.
I feel like it would also be hard to like with kids that are like struggling at home to not try to get like try not to get super involved in that. You know what I mean? Like, hard to like see them struggling at school and then not being able to do anything about it. I mean, yeah, you can do things, but like not.
But there's certain things that are out of your control, right? Yeah. I mean, like yeah, that's.
Skyles has 10 more minutes with us, and I really want to appreciate and honor his time. So, with my interview team and anyone else in the room, really, we don't have to just stick with our words. Is there anything else you want to ask from our list? Or this is our first interview, so we're going to work more on like organic questions and follow-ups here.
Have you ever thought about quitting?
No.
Never?
I have looked at other potential jobs and not quitting, but just I think always looking just to see, especially early on in my career. But never looked at quitting.
What's the most interesting thing that has happened to you on the job?
Oh, that I probably can't share. I would say this: the working. I mean, it is amazing work. It's a mini city, and so you just get to see a lot of very interesting, unique things. You also get to see. And I think this is. I would say this: you get to see more as a classroom teacher. You get to see quite a bit within your realm, and then you hear about other things. Dean and administrator, you see quite a bit more of the impact of like what some people were talking about on our students, and so I think that's something that you really become aware of. Like, math might not be the most important thing because we really have got some other things going on, and not everybody gets to know those things. And so then, how do you try to support that student, support that staff member, because their job is like, let's build community, let's go, but we also have to get you to a certain level. But yet again, math is not the most important. Anything that we're doing right now is not the most important thing.
You were an athletic director. What exactly is that?
I was the athletic director and dean. So it's half athletic director, half dean with no secretary for a year. That's probably the only time I like to brag about what I did, because don't ever do that. That was a lot.
You were a dean too?
I was 0.5 dean, 0.5 admin, and we didn't have secretary, so there was no Miss Graves. She got hired about halfway through my year. So basically, when you're an athletic director, you manage all of the athletic events, all things athletic. So all the clearances, you manage the coaches, you do the evaluations, kind of, pseudo for the coaches. And admin still has to be there, but you're seeing them all the time. You do all the game setups, so you're here every night for the games. You're managing academic probation, you're working with the middle schools. So anything athletics you can imagine you're doing.
Wow.
It's a busy job. It's a very different job than what you would do. I mean, there's no training. I think being a head coach was the part that helped.
Do you have a backup plan when you went to school for?
No. Again, because I'd already started a career, and I had made this switch, and so at that point, I started school, and I didn't sell my house and just jump right in. We took baby steps to see if I was going to be able to do this. Financially mapped out how it was going to be done. So again, night school for the 3 years was a huge financial piece. Because at that point, I had already been out of my parents' house, and I didn't qualify for any financial aid. So it was not the best decision that I could have made, but I didn't know what I wanted to do coming right out of school, and I really despised school, to be honest with you, at that time. So I was like, I'm not doing this. So no, and then once I sold my house, they were like, this is what we're doing. But you also have the ability to change. Like somebody the other day in the main office said, well, let's not make sure joking, like you don't want to get fired. I said, well, I'm not going to do anything to get fired. But I also am not so nervous about losing my. I can find another career. I've got a skill set that I'm not concerned about. I've done other things besides education. Does that answer your question? I don't know. Yeah. But I think it's good to have a backup plan when you're first coming out. I think it's really solid to look financially. For me, it was like having a plan is great. How is this going to impact me in 40 years? What kind of debt am I going to be accruing?
How do you stay sane?
Stay sane?
Yes.
That's a tough one. I'm not the best at that. I'm pretty honest with people about that. I try to get up and go to the gym 3 days a week. We have started a competition with my daughters because I wasn't doing it very well.